If a man only provides when he's pleased with you, then he's not a provider. He's actually a manipulator, because what he's actually doing is trying to condition you into behaving a certain way and doing the things that he wants you to do by dangling a carrot of provision. So what he does is that if I'm happy with you, if you've pleased me, then I will provide for you.
We're not even 20 seconds in, and you can see this is just transference. This is a projection. This is exactly how women operate, and they withhold their affection from you once they're upset with you. It could be that they're upset for a good reason, could be they're upset for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. And again, I'm not saying that women you're entitled to their bodies, entitled to affection, but this is exact play by play uh rule book they kind of run by. Plenty of men exist in sexless marriages because he hasn't done this. Chore play is a thing for a reason. It's in the vernacular. He doesn't do this. He hasn't taken out the trash when I told him to take out the trash. Therefore, he's not getting sex tonight. And then men will go months, years without anything like that. And to put it on men and saying that he has to provide for you all the time, regardless of whether or not he's pleased with you, is just completely misleading. Even if that's the case, it's what is that? What is that? Your body, your choice. My wallet, my choice. Guys, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe. The channel's growing; it's on its way. We hit that 1K, and if you see this, it may be out of order, but I like to batch things down so we can still hold to that 2 a day schedule. Let's continue.
If you've upset me, if I'm upset or whatever, if something in the external environment has upset me, then I'm not going to provide and I'm going to withdraw resources from you. That means that he's manipulating you in order to, one, edit your behavior, and two, take on the stress of controlling his environment so that you can always get the outcome that you want, which is for him to provide for you. So yeah, he can't claim to be a provider in that case. He's actually just manipulative. And ladies, this is why it's important to not listen to what men say. It's important to observe their behavior over a period of time and in different circumstances, because you don't want to be in a situation where this is your reality. Your man withdraws resources, right? Someone that you depend on withdraws resources, goes silent on you, etc., while you're in a committed relationship, because all that is you being manipulated day in, day out, and that takes a toll on your mental health. We throw around the term narcissist a lot, right? But there's so many different behaviors that while someone may not be a full on narcissist, there are narcissistic behaviors and other types of manipulative behaviors that you may experience when you're in a relationship. And these are things you want to watch.
It's amazing how we often forget just how culpable we are in these same things. If and this is a point where men find themselves off in a bind. We're in a committed relationship. Let's just say we're married and I'm providing. I'm paying all the bills. I'm doing the thing that you've always talked about that you want. That you and your friends get on here and talk about it. Got to pay all the bills. That take care of me. He's got to provide me options so I can work if I want. Don't have to work whatever. When you are upset with me, you withdraw your affection, and I'm left sort of now doing whatever. I've got to fall in. Right, we're in a committed relationship. But I got to fall in order to do this. You can withdraw that. I can't withdraw my provision. I can't withdraw my protection if something comes up. I can't say, well, we haven't had sex in 6 months. So when the guy, breaks through the front door, kicks in the front door and he's waving that thing, I can't just sit there and fold my arms and say, well, good luck. No, I still have to perform the things that I have to perform. They're always on. I can't not pay the mortgage, pay the rent because we haven't we're arguing. I don't get to withdraw the things that I do. Those things become the basis, the bedrock of our relationship. So who's really manipulation? Who really wields that more? Is it men or is it women? Now, yes, there are some things that's financial abuse. Absolutely. In this case, him saying, well, we're not really doing the things I need you to do. I'm not withdrawing my I'm not withdrawing resources from you as if now you're lacking. You always had the same resources you've always had, your own. If you came to rely on mine, but now don't want to hold up your side of the bargain, why do you now get your side of the bargain? If this is a balanced equation, right? Because we're always going to go back to math. We like math. If this is a balanced equation, why do you get to redistribute things and I not to get redistribute things on my side to make us remain in that balanced situation. This is why, like, we're probably going to find ourselves in a real situation down the line in the future. We're saying, and some women have said this. If I'm married, I want him to live in his place. I want me to live in my place. That's making more and more sense. You keep your stuff. I keep my stuff. Prenups. Let's get 30 prenups. Right. Let's make this thing ironclad. Right? Let's even forego officially making it a marriage. Just make this ironclad. Your resources. My resources, my resource. We get together Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday. That way, you still get to do your thing. I get to still do my thing. We just in this pseudo committed relationship. And we'll probably have to go to a place where we start redefining things altogether. And it'd probably be best if you define what it is with your significant other. What are your expectations? How do you handle conflict? When things go awry, what do you expect from me? Here, historically, I've had issues with this. I've worked on some things, but some things still exist as a trigger. Here's how I like to work around them. Oh, thank you for telling me. Here's the same for mine. And I know this may be idealistic and it may be even sometimes seem simplistic, but I think this is the best way to navigate any of this, even down to the minutia of if we're invited out and your friends show up, do you expect me to pay all the bill? Do you expect me to pick up the tab? Why? Blah blah. Like these small things that seem to be big things when they suddenly happen to blow up. You're not a real man if you don't. Okay, let's work on that. What are your expectations of masculinity? What are your expectations of femininity? How does someone supposed to show up for you? Rather than playing this manipulative games of where I'm going to get him to love me so much, he'll be unable to leave me without tearing off his own arm. Or I can now try to shame him and call him a narcissist because he suddenly said, I'm not going to pay your bills when you're giving me the cold shoulder, when we're not talking anymore, when we are not intimate anymore. You still expect me to finance everything about your life, or you get to bask in my lifestyle. You couldn't get to these places without me. That's why one of the things why you're with me. Now you still expect that access. If you want to call it manipulation, fine, take it. I think men are getting to the point where shaming them, using those tactics, it just becomes ineffective. You've pinched me for the last 36 years. Now my arm is dead. The pinch doesn't do anything anymore. If you want to call it manipulation, if that makes you feel better, it makes you feel like you can go to your friends later on and say he manipulated me, he was a narcissist. Again, that's another term that's losing a lot of its sting. I don't care. We know most men aren't narcissists. Yeah, it's more prevalent in men, but every one of your exes, every one of your exes was a narcissist. Every one of your exes. Just you have this narcissistic just pheromone about you where men just are drawn to you so they can manipulate you. It's absolutely ridiculous. But call it that. If and I think men will agree with this, let me know in the comments if you do. If you're not providing me with what I need, why should I provide you with what you want? And it's just a want. I don't have to do these things. Because I have the ability to do them doesn't mean you become entitled to these things. It doesn't work like that. Guys, see you in the next one.